Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today, I am going to be as nice as I can be, talking about some frustrations that I have about working with comic writers. So just for context, I am myself a comic writer, but I am also an illustrator. So it's a little easier for me to kind of translate, maybe verbal and written word into a marketable series of images, right? When you're just the writer, that's a little different, right? Especially if you're a writer maybe seeking to work with an artist. And then you guys really have to become a team. You have to, kind of understand each other's language, right? And yeah. So, again, today's video is going to be me kind of complaining about a few things. We're just going to get into it. I think the first thing I need to say to writers who especially are seeking to work with an artist, like you're maybe asking around, hey, I got this idea, can you draw this for me? The first thing I would like to say is, no offense, but you aren't special. Like, please be humble, because I can't tell you how many times I have had someone pitch a script to me and, like, beg me to draw for them. For free, by the way. But we'll get into that. Right? But I think the embarrassing part is this just assumption that you have the next big hit, the next big thing, the next Superman, the next Batman, the next, big comic. When you don't. Like, no offense, but I work in indie comics, right? Like, none of my ideas are gonna be like that big, or at least I'm assuming they're not gonna be like that big, right? Again, I am an indie artist. I work on weird little stories that I think are cool. I don't walk into a project like just with a fat head. And I think the worst part, like the most embarrassing part of this is like, it's not like you're Alan Moore, right? If Alan Moore was like, hey kid, I have this backlog of extremely successful titles. Do you want to work with me? I'd be like, fuck yeah. But you're someone who has like, and again, this has happened like multiple times where you are a guy with like no published work. Literally nothing. Like nothing published, or like very little work out there. And you're acting like you're doing me a favor. Honey, no. You are asking me, the artist, or whoever you're working with, right? You are asking the other person to do the heavy lifting. Please act like it. The visuals sell the book. Like, I'm sorry, period. The visuals sell the book. You could hypothetically sell a comic with literally no words. Like, you could literally sell a comic that's just, like, beautiful pictures and someone would probably buy it. Like, the writing is frankly the easy part. Like, again, coming from someone who does both, okay, writing is the easy part. Visuals take, like, 20 times more time and effort to produce than the writing of a comic, frankly. Right? Like, again, you're coming to me, acting like you're doing me a favor. What? Like, what is this attitude? Like, where is it coming from? Why is it so common? The other thing that I just find really insulting about this is, especially if we're not, okay, I'm not saying that artists, like, never work for nothing up front. I think if you're friends, if you maybe have some established relationship, you have enough trust, you're gonna maybe do a Kickstarter together, whatever. Like, that's cool. But when you're a complete stranger, like, I don't even know who you are, I've never met you, I don't know anything about you, you just come out of the ether like, hey, I have the next big thing, and you get to draw it. What? Like, where? I really wish I had, like, the level of audacity that these dudes have. I really wish. Like, I feel like I would have just a lot... I would have a much better self-image, I think, if I was able to do that. But yeah, so just know. Just know. Alright, what I'm referring to my paper script here. Yeah. I think in that same vein, talking about paying versus, like, starting for free, right? Again, I would only start a project for free if I was, one, very involved and very confident in the project. But, like, again, if you're just some small-time writer with no history of commercial success, why should I have any confidence that I will see a return on my huge time investment? Time and energy. It took 25 years to learn how to draw like this. I went to school for this. Like, I've paid tens of thousands of dollars for, like, these skills. And you want me to start for free? Who are you? I can't. I just can't. I just think that's, again, when you are approaching a complete stranger, especially a stranger who is used to working, like, work for hire projects, right? That is just so inappropriate. Like, we don't know each other like that. We are not close enough. Stop embarrassing yourself. Like, that is just shameful, in my opinion. But yeah, no. I would personally just never ask a stranger to do hundreds of hours of labor to bring, like, your story to life. There's going to be an upfront cost. Like, especially, again, if you're soliciting to a complete stranger and have literally no proof that this will pay off. Just saying. So, if you are not committing these egregious sins and you are a writer, and if I haven't scared you off yet, here are some, like, productive things that I think you can do when working with an artist, right? Be very open to criticism and changes. Like, I think a lot of times I've worked with writers who were really rigid about certain things, and it had to be their exact vision. And I'm like, no. Like, your artist is probably very skilled as a world builder. They have to be. They have to consider world building to create visual details. So, like, loosen up your butt, let the stick fall out a little bit, and just let them make appropriate changes, right? They know what looks good, and frankly, you probably don't if you're not an artist. I'm so sorry. Just be flexible. Don't marry your first idea. Work together. Don't work against your artist. Don't command. Like, they are not some tool for you to use, right? Like, that's a person with, like, thoughts and ideas that has a lot to contribute and can probably improve your original foundational idea. So work with them, not at them. Please, I beg you. Yeah. And then also just, like, let us cook. You know, leave room for the artist to make art. I guess, like, when you're writing a script, I always say, give enough detail for, like, the vision, but not so much detail that it's, like, suffocating. You know, dialogue, of course, dialogue writes itself. You know, if you can write convincing dialogue, you really don't need a ton more than that. Like, you can give loose descriptions of, like, how you want the page to to look, you know, and your general ideas of the world and of, you know, certain things. But again, your artist is the one that's familiar with, okay, well, if we have this big reveal, we want it to be on the page turn and stuff like that. Like, they just think visually, they think maybe even in the book format or in the presentation format. If it's a web comic, maybe they scroll into some dramatic thing, whatever. But I think your artist, being a visual creature, is just going to think more about those kinds of things than maybe a writer is going to consider. So, yeah. Like, the artist is in charge of the visuals for a reason. Like, give them the essential details, not too much more. They will imagine what looks best, so let them cook. But yeah, sorry, I just had to vent some frustration about this, because it's just kind of infuriating when someone's like, hey, can you do hundreds of hours of labor for free? And then maybe our teeny weeny little Kickstarter might make some money. It's like, well, like, I have people who will just, like, pay me. Like, there's no risk. Like, you're asking me to take a huge risk and sink, again, hundreds of hours into this complex project that I'm not passionate about, 'cause I don't know you. And your story's probably, like, pretty basic. Again, I don't know what it is with the audacity of some of these writers, but, like, you didn't write the Bible. Like, you didn't write the great American novel. It's literally, like, I've read 100 scripts like this. Like, this, I don't know. Just the audacity of, like, the average dude that does this is just so fascinating to me. So please don't be that guy. Please be respectful of people's time and money, for the love of God.